Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing my library tour. I can't guarantee the steadiness of this camera work, but what you're looking at right now is pretty much what I have going for my whole setup. This is an extra bedroom in our house that I converted into a library. So, pretty much what you're getting is like an overview of everything that I have. I know I'm gonna get a ton of questions. No, I have not read every single thing that is on all of these shelves. I personally kind of like the concept of having my own personal library slash bookstore to choose from. If you have any questions about any of the books, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will answer them accordingly if I have actually read the book. So, this is the corner that you guys most often see me in, and I apologize for the weird lighting. I'm trying to keep my curtains closed because otherwise you guys would be completely blinded by the sun glare that is coming in. So this is the corner that you guys see me filming in front of, so therefore it is aesthetically pleasing, which is kind of how I organized the rest of my library based off of that. So I have my nice comfy reading chair going on right here, and then this corner I film in front of, these little low shelves in front of my window, and then it goes all the way around from there. So I think I'm going to get started in this corner. So here we go. So in this corner, this is what is most frequently seen in my videos. So I think I'm going to just kind of start with this shelf and work my way around. So here we go. So starting with these top two shelves, pretty much my top shelf is completed trilogies that are paperback, and then the shelf below that are completed trilogies that are in hardcover, and that's pretty much how I decided to organize. I used to have everything organized by genre, and now it's just kind of more like aesthetically pleasing how I organize stuff and how I associate books together. So these are completed trilogies. I'm not going to go through and pull out every single book because that would literally take forever with all of my books here. So, trilogies. So as we move down another shelf, we're going to get into books that I own the first two of the trilogy or the series, even though the rest of the series may be out. They are ones that I only own the first two of as of right now, so that's just kind of what this shelf is. And moving down one more shelf, we have, this is my shelf of shame. This is the shelf of mismatched series that will either eventually be matched in copies and format, or they are series that will never ever be matched just because of how they released a cover change in the middle of a series, so therefore it won't all be hardback or matching covers. So that's pretty much what I've got going on here. I double stack these shelves. I used Owlcrates to kind of elevate the books that are in the back there so that you can actually see them instead of it being just kind of shoved behind other books. And you can also still like access them pretty easily, so I think that was a fairly good solution. Ashley from Aspiring Ashley had that wonderful piece of advice that I am so glad that I took advantage of, so that's going to eventually be all of these shelves. They're all eventually going to be double stacked because there's a lot of books that I own. And moving down onto the bottom shelf, these are my big series, as in they are large and in charge. They are just ones that just kind of took over. So obviously I have like the Cassandra Clare books, the Twilight books, the House of Night series, and the Vampire Academy, so they're just ones that I have a lot of. So they kind of took up this entire area, and that was the easiest way I could organize them. Okay, and I'm gonna swing right on over here to the next shelf that is right next to that one, and I have the exact same theory going on with this bottom shelf as well. They were just kind of all books that are together, like all of the Ellen Hopkins books go together along with the Sweep series and the Nightshade series and spin-off books. Pretty much this is just all big series that kind of just go together. They're also clearly well loved if you can't tell by all of the sad shape that they are in. And moving up, this is kind of my only unfinished shelf right now. This is just kind of books that I'm not quite sure what I want to do with them. They are like completed trilogies or tall books or books that don't match. So right now this is my only open space, and I'm going to take full advantage of that if you know anything about me. I also have an ocelot from Minecraft, a little piranha plant, and Chewy is just like chilling up in that corner there. So this is kind of my only shelf that is still a work in progress right now. And then moving on up to the next shelf, these are duologies that are completed, and I'm pretty proud of this shelf just because it's very rare that I actually get like completed series or duologies where I actually have the matching ones. So right now, that is what is going on there, along with a little Ewok to guard them. Moving up to the top two shelves of this bookshelf. The bottom one is more completed hardback trilogies and kind of the Neil Shusterman collection that I've got going on. And then the shelf above that are series where only the first two books are actually out. So I own the first two, and they are the only two that are out in a series or trilogy. Then above that, I have my villains that guard the shelf. I've got a really fancy Darth Vader, Sauron, and Voldemort, and they keep my series in line. So backing up, those are those shelves, and then I'm gonna move right on over here to my little shelves here. So this shelf here are books that only the first book in the series is out. That may not necessarily be the case anymore, but that's just kind of how I had it organized. Then I followed the same technique in the back there. If you can see, there are more books that are double stacked back there, but they're ones that I'm not really necessarily planning on getting to anytime soon, so that is unfortunately just kind of where they ended up. There are a whole bunch of tall books that I don't know what to do with. You know, that like weird tall size that doesn't necessarily fit in with all your other books? Yeah, that's where they went. So these are all just first books in the series that I need to get the rest of them. And moving down to this bottom shelf here, these are all kind of miscellaneous books from authors who just write standalones or just write different types of books. So I have like Holly Black and Ruta Sepetys and Andrew Smith, just authors that I want to keep together, but all of their books don't necessarily go together. So this is just kind of a miscellaneous like collective author shelf. And yeah, I also have books double stacked in the back there, but they're also ones that I have no idea what to do with, and they're just kind of shoved back there for now, and they will see the light of day at some point in time. And then moving over here, this is just kind of a little cubby area. This shelf is actually very empty right now. This shelf is where I keep the books that I have read that I need to put in my wrap-up videos, and as you can see, I'm not very far in the month, so I need to catch up. It is also generally where I keep books that I need to haul, and clearly I have been very good this month. So this is the emptiest this cubby has been in a very, very long time. So yeah, we're gonna need to work on that. Don't worry, my birthday's coming up, so I'm pretty sure this cubby is gonna fill up very quickly. Then up here, this is just kind of where I keep all of my miscellaneous stuff, like bookmarks and all of my little like notebooks and stuff that I need to take notes on for my videos, and also my Buffy books, with Buffy and Spike chilling in front of them and R2 hanging out on top. That is it for that little tiny section there, and I'm gonna move right on over to this corner area. Let's just start at the top here. I've got Wally up there, so that's pretty cool. These top two shelves are all just kind of standalone books that I'm not quite sure where I want them to end up, but they all kind of are that standard YA hardcover format, so they all look good together, so that's kind of where they are. So as of right now, this is just kind of miscellaneous standalone books. Then moving down, we're getting into my classics section and adult books. This is kind of the only area that is still somewhat messy. The middle section is kind of modern adult fiction. I've got Neil Gaiman and Chuck Palahniuk and David Mitchell in there, and I also have it mixed in with a couple really awesome like library bindings of classics. So that's what this shelf is right now. Moving down one more, I get more into my classics from college and from high school and just from me reading it, along with really, really old copies of classics that I found at yard sales. Some of these are from like the 1800s. So this is just kind of what this shelf is right now. I understand this area is kind of like the messy area. Then moving down one more shelf, we have kind of more modern classics. There's like Dan Brown and like Flowers for Algernon and just kind of miscellaneous stuff, along with, you know, a giraffe in the corner. So that is this entire shelf. And we're gonna swing right around and not be blinded by the lights. Let me move those real quick. These are the last two shelves that are along the opposite wall from where I film. This first shelf is actually just kind of my guilty pleasure shelf. These top two shelves are all of my new adult books, so there is a lot of Colleen Hoover and a lot of PC Cast and Jamie Maguire and just, you know. This next shelf down here is my like fluffy contemporary shelf, so it's a lot of like Rainbow Rowell and Sarah Dessen and Jenny Han. This next shelf down here, let me get down for you guys. This next shelf is kind of darker contemporary, and this is the only shelf that I ever attempted a rainbow thing. I think once I get more boxes and I can double stack this shelf, I'll actually do like a full rainbow of maybe these 2 shelves. I have no idea, but these are my darker contemporaries that deal with more heavy subject matter than fluffy romance. So that's what these 2 shelves are, and then this shelf down here are again more miscellaneous books. They're just kind of a whole bunch of standalones. I did a white stack on the left, a black stack on the left, and grayish books in the middle. Again, these are all just kind of miscellaneous books that I didn't really know what to do with, so I kind of did the color scheme thing. In between these 2 shelves are leftover textbooks and sketchbooks from college, so that's just kind of what's going on there. I couldn't push these 2 shelves together because I have an outlet that I need to get to in between them, which is really unfortunate, so that's what's going on there. Moving on to the very last shelf over here. This very, very top shelf is actually my boyfriend's shelf. I know, I'm so considerate. I gave him an entire shelf. No, I'm just kidding. He has books elsewhere, but these are a few of his books that are in here, and he clearly reads a lot more like fantasy and sci-fi than I do. This next shelf down here are arcs and review books that I have received that have not really yet found a home, so they just kind of all accumulated here. And then this shelf down here is my Harry Potter shelf, obviously. So this is kind of like the shrine to Harry Potter and all of the random Harry Potter stuff that I have. There's like a Hedwig back there. I also have books back behind that illustrated edition. I have like the Guillermo del Toro, like the Strain books and stuff back there. But this is ultimately my Harry Potter shelf. I have no idea what I'm going to do once the rest of the illustrated versions come out because they need to be displayed loud and proud. So for now, this is what it is. This next shelf is kind of my catch-all type shelf. It's where pictures end up going. It's also my middle grade shelf, so I have the Series of Unfortunate Events, The Book Thief, I have the Madeleine L'Engle books in there, T.A. Barron. That Chelsea and Hercules book is a book that an employee of mine actually made at one point in time that are literally just a whole bunch of pictures of me and my miniature horse, which was like the best present ever, so props to her. And then moving down to this last shelf, this is actually all of my nonfiction horse care type books because, you know, I have horses and there's a lot of information to take in about horses. So that's what this entire shelf is. It's literally just horse care and training books. So let me stand back up here and give you guys one last hurrah. So starting over here, this is what we just looked at, and then we pan over to the Guilty Pleasure shelf. Those books stacked in the corner are all of my unhaul books that I still have yet to actually take to their new homes. This is my, like, adult shelf, and then the random standalones back over to kind of like my working area, and then what you guys are most familiar with in this corner. So I hope this will satisfy you guys for now. I do plan on going through and doing like a somewhat more detailed library tour, but that would honestly take forever if I were to pull out every single book that I own, because in case you guys can't see, I own a lot. So again, if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I hope you guys are reading some amazing books, and I will see you guys next time.